In the 90s, man, like everything was a Softail. The whole model range just kind of faded away. Bikes that were selling for $40,000 in the late 90s, early 2000s, you can pick up for 5-6 grand. I'm pretty sure it was one of our like centerfold bikes from like the 05, 06 era. Part of the reason I remember it so vividly is because it was so ugly. Once we started taking stuff off the frame, I was able to get a better look at the suspension on the bike. It looked kind of blown out, just looked kind of beat up. And as luck would have it, one of the best suspension companies in the world is right down the street from us. Hey man, Patrick, hey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, I'm Eric, how's it going?
Hey man, thanks for taking the time. They are kind of like the OG purveyors of air suspension, and that's exactly what I want to use on this bike. I want to use something where I can set the stance of the bike, move it up and down, but yet still have the thing ride nice and smooth. I don't know if you're an inventor of the air ride in Harley world, but like you're the first person I think of.
Or we'd like to say the godfather of the air ride suspension.
Yeah, the godfather.
Yeah. Why don't you follow me and we'll go check out what we got.
So this is going to cure what ails me?
Yeah, it absolutely will. And this is basically our newest version of the Softail air ride shock. Super reliable, super clean.
Sad is like that you don't get to see these things.
That's the worst part of the best kept secret, you know?
Yeah, Softail, everything goes underneath, keep that hardtail look, but man, these things look awesome.
This is actually a short toggle switch that we offer through our parts and accessories section. We build these in a 36 or a 72-inch length, depending on where you're planning on hiding this switch out, especially on custom builds where a guy doesn't want a bunch of stuff on the handlebars and such. So, and still has the plug and play connector.
That's the cool part. So we're gonna do something kind of trick, and we still just get to plug it in. You guys have an impressive operation here. I don't think people understand where you're at.
No,
I think people think you guys are a California company.
Yeah, yeah. When they see SD, they think of San Diego.
Yeah.
And when we say we're in South Dakota, they're like, oh wow.
I feel like we're spoiled because you guys are so close and you take such good care of us. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, anytime.
We got our rear suspension issue solved, but we had to get this frame taken care of because this bike was set up like dual tanks and kind of bagger-esque, and we had to get rid of all of that stuff that we didn't want on there anymore and clean up our cuts, smooth it out, things like that. You really want a frame to have a bulletproof finish. So we took this over to Joe's to have it sandblasted and powder coated, where they take a big old sandblaster and they blast all that old finish off there. And then they put a standard gloss black finish on there and powder coat. It's real tough stuff. So rocks and things like that coming off the road aren't gonna scuff it up, aren't gonna crack it. I'm not disappointed to see that goofy clown shoe red frame go bye-bye. In today's version of chopper hygiene, we're gonna show you how to shave your legs. We ditched that giant wet noodle of a front end that was on there, made the decision to go with 39mm, just basically standard old Harley front end. This one was off of a Sportster, so we wanted to cut all the mounting tabs off that thing to make them smooth. But you know, a lot of guys don't want to do that, but don't have like a lathe. You know, having a lathe makes that job like really slick and clean. So we don't have a lathe here either, but we decided to go ahead and do it with you know, some pretty basic tools that kind of anybody can do in their garage. Just a lot more elbow grease to shave those legs. But hey, you know, that's what we want, so that's what we're gonna do. So you gotta be careful of some things. You wanna, you know, not take too much at a time. You can't put it back. I mean, well, you could put it back with a welder and all kinds of stuff, but you can't put it back, let's just say. You know, cut those off, leave some, and then use a series of abrasive disc grinders and you know, sanders to take it down smooth. The other like little thing you don't quite notice in there is where those castings come up, there can be a little bit of a dip there. So you gotta do your best to smooth all that out and smooth it out uniformly. Even if you're gonna have it powder coated, those bumps and ups and downs and non-uniform areas will show up in the powder coat. So you really gotta take some time and sand that down nice and smooth and uniform so it all looks the same. Pretty much have these things shaved down real nice. So just got to get them apart so we can take them over to the powder coater so we can have them refinished. I'm gonna have like some real nice smooth legs. This is the part where you don't want to shoot this across the room or in your eye. The fork is definitely in need of a rebuild. Legend make this dope little micro switch. Look at that. Look at that. It's almost like I planned it that way. Well, we're in kind of a transitional point in the build. The frame's at powder, the sheet metal is off getting painted, we got parts coming in, but I really can't do anything right now until I get the frame back. We can start final assembly, and then we'll put the tranny in, put the motor in, start on the belt drive. You know, we got to wire the thing, and once the big components are in, then we'll start doing the finishing touches, and we get a little bit antsy. I'm ready to go, ready to put the thing together, ready to see if all the quote unquote builder stuff that I did is really gonna pan out. But for now, until, you know, we can get all the pretty painted parts back, we're kind of in limbo. I'll tell you what, I spent enough time in this shop the last week or so. I got people to do, places to see, and beers to drink.